welcome to Roosevelt High School in Minneapolis for the Section 6 4A Girls Basketball Championship. The number 2 seed, the Wayzata Trojans, and the number 1 seed, the Hopkins Royals. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Ryan Iverson. Ryan, these teams obviously not strangers. They've already played twice. Hopkins won them both. The second one, though, was a lot better game than the first one.
Yeah, they got it. Wayzata came back, had it down to a couple possessions, ended up losing by 14. First game was a blowout. So I think the key tonight is Wayzata, coming off that second game, believes that they can play with Hopkins, have the experience, have won some big games. They expect to win if you talk to them. So I think it's going to be a great matchup. I love when two teams know each other and there's no surprises. They say, this is a chance to go to the state tournament. What do you got?
Hopkins obviously has had a great deal of success. 6 state championship, 9 state appearances. Wayzata, their one appearance, though, came when they upset Hopkins back in the section semifinals. So it can happen for Wayzata. They're obviously a big underdog, but they have to believe they can do it.
Well, the Wayzata girls team has to look no further than their boys basketball team to find out what can happen in section basketball. Wayzata, a big favorite, losing to Cooper. So that's why we play these great games. That's why people love sports, because hey, if it's a sure thing, you won't even play the game. So, and again, you have some seniors, you have some very good, skilled basketball players on the Wayzata side. You got great basketball players, and you have a lot of athleticism on the Hopkins side.
Let's talk about key players to keep an eye on in tonight's game. For Wayzata, somebody who really sparked them in the semis was their big junior, Cameron Hay.
Well, Cameron, she's got great height. She's very athletic, long, lengthy. She had 18 points, big points in a second half rally against Armstrong to get here to the finals. So she's not their leading scorer, averages under double figures, but does a lot of great things. And tonight, against a physical, athletic team, she's got to dominate the glass, and she's got to be that scoring threat. She's got to be in double figures. That's my biggest question for Wayzata, Jay, is can they score enough points to beat Hopkins?
And for the Royals, one of their players who maybe been a little under the radar considering her accomplishments, Ashley Bates is actually really climbing up on their career scoring list. She just does a little of everything.
Well, that's the problem when you play with Nia Holly, who's maybe one of the best girls players to ever come through high school basketball in Minnesota. But, Bates is a phenomenal player. She's very athletic, a great guard. What she does is she takes turnovers, defensive rebounds, and she's gone. She turns them into points in transition. Very skilled, a good shooter, can get to the basket. Wayzata is going to have their work cut out trying to limit her production on offense.
All right, we'll see who comes out on top in this third meeting. Wayzata and Hopkins for the Section 6 championship. Up next on 12 Sports.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
And welcome back here to Roosevelt as the Trojans and the Royals getting set to be introduced to the crowd filing in. Coach Schumacher from Wayzata was saying not a lot of other section games are tonight, so probably a coach's dream in terms of scouting for potential state tournament opponents.
Yeah, and you wonder too, Wayzata fresh off a boys state championship in hockey on Saturday night, so they're expected to win, right? That's contagious. It's fun when you got a lot of sports that are competing for state championships, and it's a great atmosphere. This is an old gym. You and I were talking. We haven't been here since I hadn't been here since the mid-'90s with a couple of really big, Robert Mestis and John Thomas. So it's a great atmosphere, loud gym, and you can hear the band, that's for sure.
Here's a look at starting lineup, starting with Mike Schumacher and the Trojans. Mimi Schrader, the young guard, along with Annie Robertson, Hannah Hiring, Sydney Hayden, and Cameron Hay. Overall, a pretty experienced team on both sides in terms of the lineups that we're going to see tonight. And for Brian Cosgriff and the Hopkins Royals, Dee Dee Winston, Nia Holly, Ashley Bates, Kasia Woobin, and Angie Hammond, the starting unit for the Royals.
I'll tell you, I think the key is Mimi Schrader. She's only a freshman. You know, and this is a big-time spot for a freshman, but she has played like a junior or senior this year, does not turn the ball over. They trust her to handle the ball against pressure, and obviously when you face Hopkins, knowing that that pressure, turnovers, you've got to be able to take care of the basketball. So a lot of weight on that ninth grader's shoulders.
Coach Schumacher mentioning, you know, our goal is to get a shot on every possession. That means obviously not turning the ball over very much, and he said the same thing, easier said than done against Hopkins sometimes, but you know, he feels like they have a good shooting team. If they can get to the point where they are able to get shots up, he feels, you know, relatively good about their chances.
I think the key against Hopkins girls basketball is you don't want to get down early. If you get down 10-2, then you're constantly playing catch up. That's when you start to rush stuff or try to do a little too much, and it just spirals downhill. If they cannot get off to a good start, maybe take a lead of their own where they can slow down, play with confidence, be deliberate. You know, that's how you beat a team like Hopkins.
And I think not a stretch to say how the game is officiated is going to matter too. Hopkins is a physical team. If they're calling things tight, it might have, you know, make them back down a little bit or slow down a little bit with that. If not, then you know, they can feel free to get up and really pressure dribblers even harder.
That's where, as a coach, you wish you could just say, hey, how are you going to call the game tonight? You know, but you never know. But we talk about it in all our broadcasts, Jay. You figure out how it's being called, and then you adjust to it. You know, and if they're letting the physical play go, well, you adjust to it. If they're not, you're right. That could definitely bode as a you know, advantage Wayzata.
That's one thing that I think does help Wayzata is the fact that they have played Hopkins twice. I think some teams that are playing them for the first time are kind of like, wow, they're all over us. Hay and Holly will jump it up to begin our contest here tonight.
And I'll say this too, Wayzata is one of the few teams that matches up height-wise, or at least size-wise, with Hopkins.
Royals get first possession here. Winston defended by Schrader. Wayzata in a man-to-man. Hay gets the assignment on Nia Holly, the Michigan State signee.
I saw the Michigan State assistant coach was here. I said, didn't she already sign with you? What do you? And she said, hey, we got to show her love. So the future college coach is in attendance tonight.
Wilben inside is fouled, and we'll head to the free throw line. So Hopkins getting the ball deep in the paint on the early possession. As you get a look at Ryan Cosgriff's 17th season, we said 9 appearances at state and 6 championships in that time.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Yeah, 4 of the last 5 they've won. I mean, just sustained success, and you build a program. You don't have 1 year of great success. Youth basketball, youth girls basketball in Hopkins is a big deal, and he knows how to take that talent and turn them into winners. He's an excellent, you know, skill developer of his players.
First free throw good, second also right on the money, so a 2-0 lead here, and here comes Hopkins with full court pressure. Hiring gets it in, and falling down is going to be a travel as Hayden just lost her footing. There's a look at Mike Schumacher, the Trojans coach, kind of entered in style in his first season as he was an interim coach then. That's the year they knocked off Hopkins and South in back-to-back games in the playoffs.
Yeah, made it to the semifinals that year, losing in the semis, but he's a great coach. He's been around a long time. He really knows the game. You know, and he's got a simplicity to him of, hey, how are you going to beat Hopkins? There's no magic. We just got to play well, and we got to beat him. He knows what he's up against. He knows he has to have a very good performance.
Holly down the baseline, just short with that. Bates had it blocked and then is fouled. Ball won't drop, but Hopkins hitting the offensive glass, and I think it'll be Cameron Hay picking up this foul here for the Trojans.
Well, that was a nice initial defense. They forced Nia Holly to take a tough shot from a tough angle. But what I saw earlier, a lot of Wayzata players just watching with their heads. They got to get a body on Hopkins. They got to limit second chance opportunities against a team like Hopkins. They don't need any more opportunities, as efficient as they are on offense.
And Coach was talking about that before the game, that it really, you know, kind of gets you down too if you play a good initial D but then can't secure the rebound and give up points anyway, even after working hard. Hannah Hiring will bring it up here for Wayzata. They're down early 4-0. Schrader comes out to get it on the wing and across to Robertson and try to go inside, and they turn it over.
Well, it's exactly what Mike Schumacher did not want to start the game. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers, don't even have a shot attempt. You can see that once you get the ball in, it's just man-to-man pressure. And you just got to slow down and play basketball. That's all it is.
Holly driving, left it short. And Hannah Hiring with the rebound here for the Trojans. Schrader right back to Robertson. She'll launch a three, but it's no good. Gets it back herself. No good. Hay had it. Hammond, though, ripped it away. And then Hay fell into her, and Hay's going to pick up her second foul.
And I think Wayzata's saying, hey, why weren't those fouls on a couple of those shot attempts?
So not what the Trojans were looking for early. Two quick ones on Hay, and they're going to have to quickly sub in Abby Carver.
Well, and Abby Carver, she's got good height. She's a physical player, and she's going to be, a tall task coming in to guard Nia Holly. She's going to really have to bear down and move her feet. We'll see if Hopkins looks to exploit that matchup.
Holly dumping it inside in the pick and roll. Hammond missed, got it back, missed again. And Hammond will come out of the pack with it. Shoots it up one more time and missed, and then Robertson snares the rebound.
You can see Angie Hammond, very athletic and long, able to just go right over the top of the smaller Wayzata players. She's got those long arms. She's a quick leaper, too.
Hiring, faking the shot. Back out now to Schrader. Hopkins, good intense pressure defensively. And Holly gets a piece of that, can't run it down though. It'll stay Wayzata possession.
This is where it comes in, Jay, when, individually, I don't know if there's one matchup that Wayzata can win one-on-one. Do you know what I mean? They need to run their offense and get shots out of the flow of their offense, whether it's ball movement, back doors, passes like that.
Carver's jumper bounces and drops, and the Trojans are on the board for the first time.
Yeah, really nice offense that time. They were under control and poised.
Bates, the ball winds up back with her after the miss. Winston for three, in and out. There's Hammond to the glass. They just can't stop him from rebounding. And Carver had it and lost it. Hayden gets to it, but then sails it into her bench, and it will be Hopkins basketball. Coach Schumacher feeling that the Royals are guilty of over the top there, but Carver getting the jumper to drop.
And that time Hopkins went a zone defense. They extended it out. Hannah Hiring did a great job getting in the middle of the court and then turning and looking. Made a great bounce pass and a nice finish, too, by Abby Carver to get on the board.
Callie Tyson, number 30, in for Wayzata. Sydney Franks, number 15, also in. Dominique McNeely coming in for Hopkins. And Holly had it jabbed away, but there's going to be a foul call on Hayden, who thought she had basketball there, but instead will be whistled for the personal.
Looked like pretty quick hands. It looked like it was a pretty good play defensively. But that's where you got to block Holly from getting to that spot. You cannot let her turn and catch down at the block. There's no chance you have of guarding her down there. That's where you got to front her, bump her, don't let her cut and catch that ball down that low.
All of Hopkins' points from the free throw line so far. They lead at 5-2. They're killing Wayzata on the offensive glass right now. Second free throw also good. Royals 6 out of 6 from the line. They lead 6-2. Schrader bringing it up. Here's Robertson. And now Franks getting her first touch on the ball. Schrader back across to Hayden. A lot of perimeter passes here. And that one deflected. It'll stay Wayzata ball.
You can see everything along the perimeter against Hopkins. They got to get action going north and south. And what you do is you use a team like Hopkins, the pressure they put on you, use that to your advantage. Ball fake. Be poised. Try to attack them. Sometimes you get by that initial pressure, it's wide open.
Royals back zone here, and Bates goes out off her. It will be Wayzata basketball as Hiring and Hay will come back in.
I know that's something too that Wayzata's they're gonna refresh their players. They want energy. Hopkins is used to playing at this kind of pace. Wayzata maybe not so much, so they want to make sure they have fresh bodies in and out of the game.
Surprised at all that Hayes come right back in?
No, I think Coach Schumacher is saying, we're down 4. We need right now, the girl playing our best offense, we need her on the floor.
There they break the press, and Hiring gets the layup off the feed from Tyson.
And Tyson's only a 9th grader, but she's played very well this year. And that time she's got the height, and then you can see that if they attack the middle against that zone, they can get layups.
Winston around to Holly. Looking to attack, goes back over to Dee Dee Winston for three, and that is good.
Now that's just great offense beating very good defense. Nia Holly aggressively attacks the basket. Defense collapses. She kicks it right out, and that's a nice jump shot by Dee Dee Winston.
Franks into a double team, got rid of it. Now Hay in some traffic. And threw it away. Winston. Here's Holly calling for it at the top. Gives it right back to Winston. And a steal by Hayden. Gives Hopkins a dose of their own medicine there, and Bates stripped it away. It will be Wayzata ball. I don't believe it's a foul, just out of bounds.
Well, great hustle by Ashley Bates, but that's where, as an offensive player, Sydney Hayden's got to know that that pressure is coming. Either position herself so if the player reaches, it's a foul, or the old Top Gun move where you hit the brakes, the defender flies right by. That's a layup you don't get very often. An uncontested, wide open layup, you've got to be able to knock that down.
Here's Franks attacking, and it'll stay with Wayzata. Robertson to bring it inbound here for the Trojans. And tipped away. They're struggling even just to get that done.
And that's the thing, you got to just slow down. You're just playing basketball, right? I mean, the defense is great, the intensity is great by Hopkins, but hey, these are just passing, catching, getting open, basic inbound passes, you know.
And we'll get a foul after the steal. We'll go against Hopkins. And it will be Bates picking it up.
Yeah. You know,
first foul on the Royals.
Yeah. And that's the thing about them that's really amazing is the intensity and the physicality of which they play. And they do it without fouling, you know, and that's not an easy thing to do. You see a lot of undisciplined athletic teams that play pressure, but they foul. They're constantly in foul trouble. These guys do it without fouling.
Robertson inbounding here for the Trojans. And a foul as Franks has been aggressive, at least willing to, look to attack.
Yeah, and she's a junior. We've done a number of their games this year, and when she's aggressive, she can score. And she's athletic, and she's got that kind of attitude where she doesn't seem like she's scared or would back down from this kind of challenge.
Hiring across to Franks. Tyson picks up the dribble, in some trouble, and just got it over to Hiring. Turns with the floater, no good. Battle for the rebound. It will be out off Hopkins.
Great hustle by Callie Tyson there. Battling. That's a shot Hannah Hiring. She got to a nice spot about 5 feet from the basket. And that's what you do. You start rushing your shots, right? Because you're worried about getting it stolen or blocked.
Hiring on the drive, scores, and a foul.
That's a move right there. Watch her step through here. Physical, too. She didn't back away from the contact. She went right at it. Hannah Hiring's really the heart and soul of this team. She's a senior, their leading scorer. Just under 15 points a game. She's a smart, tough player. They need her to be big here tonight.
Free throw, though, no good. Foul was on Dominique Hart-McNeely for Hopkins, so a 9-6 advantage here for the Royals. Wayzata showing signs of life offensively after a very slow start.
Yep.
Winston out of Paige Bueckers, who's checked in, the talented 8th grader #1. Winston shooting a three from the top. It's in and out, and Hiring boards it.
Yeah, Hiring got the rebound, but an excellent block out by Callie Tyson right there.
Franks almost lost it crossing over in front of Bates there. Baseline knocked away, and Bates up with the steal. Bates looking to attack and lost it on the way up. Now Sydney Franks pushing it the other direction. Hiring traveled. No bucket.
Well, great pass by Sydney Franks. I thought that was a nice catch and finish. Maybe one dribble needed to get her all the way to the rim. But either way, I like that Wayzata's looking to attack against Hopkins. And sometimes that's all it is, Jay. You get a couple of buckets and hey, we can score against them. Let's just play. That's what I always felt like in big games. Whatever team kind of got into that rhythm of, hey, it's just a game. You know, they got off to a great start. It, you know, allowed you to just start playing comfortably.
Evelyn Knox, 21 in there, handling the ball briefly for the Royals. Now Bueckers comes out to get it. 11 and a half minutes to go here in the first half, 9-6. Hopkins leading Wayzata in our Section 6 4A championship. Bueckers giving it to Hammond. Nice shot fake, steps in but left it short.
Oh, you got to box
Gets it
out.
herself. Now Bueckers on the drive. Dishing for Holly, no. Gets it back herself though. Holly, a tough baseline shot is good.
I mean, it's just a great motor, right? You miss a shot, she just goes and gets it. And it all started on an offensive rebound by an 8th grader. And Paige Bueckers, you got to box out if you're Wayzata, even from the perimeter.
Tyson driving the ball. Holly with the steal. Holly flipped it up as she stumbled and then comes back to her while she's out of bounds. So it'll be Wayzata ball.
Yeah, and a good move. She just got going a little too fast. Watch this move, Jay. I mean, that's a step back, fadeaway jump shot from about 14, 15 feet, and she sticks it. She's that rare, player that's got great guard skills with that with a post body.
Robertson drives and Hammond fouled her.
And you can see Wayzata, they've had success driving the ball to the basket when they break that initial pressure. And that's kind of what I told you. A lot of teams, they do that. It's almost a mantra, but when you defeat that, handle that, you can have success attacking them.
Robertson's free throw no good, so Trojans are 0 for 2 at the line.
And all the little things, the jump balls, the loose balls, free throws, the boxing out, that's the recipe for beating a team like Wayzata or like Hopkins.
Second try also no good, and Tyson though gets in there for the rebound, missed it. Hiring got it back and then had it stripped. And the long jumper put up and knocked down by Arena Suggs. Just into the game, calmly nails a 3 in transition.
Just into the game, and within a second of touching the ball for the first time, you bury a contested 3 in transition. Well, you wonder how they've been able to win 4 or 5 state championships. It's because of that, because these players get into the game, they've been coached hard, they practice hard, and they expect to perform when they get in. They got a lot of depth.
Hopkins leading at 14-6 here as this time out. Kind of feels like everybody chance to take a little deep breath here right now because it's been hectic back and forth. You see the Royals, no strangers to success, winning 4 of the last 5, and certainly one of the teams that has a very strong chance if they're able to get into the tournament this year.
Yeah, and I mean, what's amazing about that is girls basketball right now in the state of Minnesota is really deep and it's really talented. And for them to sustain that and do that it's really, you talk about the Eden Prairie of football and you talk about Hopkins boys basketball. There might not be a better dynasty, if you will, than the Hopkins girls basketball program. And they've had a lot of talent, but they've lost a lot of talent. They just seem to replenish and regrow them, and that's a testament to Coach Cosgriff. He makes them so much better when he starts coaching them.
Schrader's pass kind of in between everyone, and it's just going to be out of bounds off Wayzata. So a turnover there. I think she thought she saw a cut coming that wasn't there. Holly at the high post, over to Bueckers, trying to go back to Holly, but Robertson really read that well and got over the top.
She read it well, and Bueckers has got to put that ball at a better angle, not let it hang in the air. That's a hard ask for a post player to hold off a defender that long.
Hiring lets it rip from the wing, no good off the backboard. They keep it alive though, and Schrader goes to get it.
Schrader got that, but that's Annie Robertson and her length. And that's the thing. I think Wayzata has that kind of length to be able to be disruptive.
Hiring steps in and shoots and hits. Her 3rd bucket.
Yeah, and she's kind of been the one player so far offensively that isn't acting like she's nervous at all. She's going right at him.
And Hiring almost had the steal, but bumps into Bueckers and will be whistled for the foul. That is her second now.
And there's a look at that. That's a great crossover against Nia Holly, a very athletic defender. That's a big-time basket.
Checking in for Wayzata now, Emily Engdahl, number 53.
Yep.
Second foul committed there by Hiring. Bates steps up and shoots it, no good. And they get it right back again. Winston pulls up from the wing, one drop. Tip loose, Hayden up with it, fouled by Holly. So Wayzata basketball here as they are down 14-8. You know, it hasn't gotten real smooth for them, but they're still right there. Knocked loose, and Franks will go back and get it.
You see how far Hopkins extends this 2-3. There's two players basically playing the ball. You gotta get the ball going north and south. You do this east-west stuff, Hopkins is going to eat the passing lanes up.
Bates over to Winston for the layup. Franks giving it up to Hayden. Down to the baseline, Robertson. Here's Hayden right up the middle, but slams it off the backboard. Rebound, though, by Tyson. Wouldn't drop. And out of bounds off Wayzata.
And you can see that when they attack and they go north and south, they can get a nice bucket. There's a nice finish by Dee Winston. And she's got off to a nice start here in this game.
Royals by 8 as they hit the front court. Holly for Bates underneath. Had it blocked, though, by Tyson. They push it up that left side. Robertson to the trailer. Tyson, but not a real good pass, and Rubin up with it. Now Bates is fouled.
Yep, a good foul. Why give up a layup? Put him at the free throw line. Excellent foul. And you're right, if that ball's fed to Tyson in her hands, she's able to step through and potentially have an easy layup. Instead, it leads to a turnover. And that's what Hopkins does so well, is they take that turnover and they convert it into transition here to 2 free throws.
Second foul also now on Hayden. So Hayden, and Hiring, the H's, all have 2 fouls right now for the Trojans. Hay and Schrader check back in. Bates, second free throw, bounces around and out. So first miss for the Royals, but they lead 17-8. Franks to the baseline, stops and pops and hits.
What a move. What a nice move, confident move. And she hit that over a contested defender as well. Great move.
Holly with the pull-up, and that's good.
You can't defend it any better, right? The defense gets in front of her, cuts her off, and she just stops. She's got that great length. She takes that jump shot from way up high, so you can't block it, and she's a very good offensive basketball player.
To the corner, and bounces around, and will fall for Franks for 3.
Well, I've seen Sydney Franks get hot. We've seen her score 15 to 20 points in a heartbeat. There's a turnover on Hopkins. I didn't see what they called on her. You can see Franks right there, catches, no hesitation at all. She's gotten the last 2 buckets to follow, and this is 19-13, a 2-possession game. Yeah, I think they called a carry on that last play on Nia Holly.
Schrader down the baseline. They're swinging around. Guess who? Franks will shoot it up again. This time in and out. Tyson's rebound, is good.
Well, beautiful penetration by the freshman Mimi Schrader. Nice ball reversal. Sydney Franks gets a wide open look, and that time Callie Tyson comes in for the offensive rebound. There's a moving screen.
Hart McNeely picking up her second. And all of a sudden, things turning Wayzata's way a little bit here.
Yeah, and that was a great offensive possession right there. And because of that ball rotation and ball movement, able to get an offensive glass for Tyson, and she'd be able to put it back up.
Wayzata to within 4. Robertson pitching it inside. Hay looking to attack, was held by Hart McNeely, and that'll be her third foul. As she got caught behind her a little bit. Hay did a nice job of getting her body in between.
Yeah, that's going to be in the bonus here. So right as I was praising Hopkins for playing without fouling it, it's like they picked up 7 fouls in the last few minutes, and just like that, Wayzata's in the bonus. This is where you got to make Hopkins pay. You got to knock your free throws down.
And Hay does not do it. They've continued. They still have not made a free throw. Bates at the other end, and blocking foul. Franks was just a little late getting there, and Bates will shoot 2. So that puts them into the bonus. Obviously, this was a 2-shot foul anyway, but there was a 7th foul on the Trojans. And Bates leaving it short.
And Bates is such a good shooter, normally an excellent free throw shooter.
I think that was a tired miss.
Yeah, when you don't get the legs and you miss short on the front rim like that, that's when you regroup as a shooter. Hey, I know I got to get my legs into it. I wouldn't be surprised to see her knock this one down.
Yep. Second one is good. Sub being waved in here as Winston checks out, and coming back in as Suggs. So Hopkins by 5 as we approach 6 minutes to go in this first half. The Section 6 4A girls basketball final. And that one thrown out of bounds by Schrader. Later this week we'll have Champlain Park and Park Center playing in the Section 5 final for you on 12 Sports as well.
You know, but like that kind of pass right there, there's nothing there. That's just a wasted possession. And you've got momentum going your way. You've got to be able to execute and get a shot attempt.
Holly knocks down a 3, showing her variety of offensive looks tonight.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you guard her? Do you guard her with a smaller guard? Well, she goes right by you and posts you up, or do you put a bigger player on, but then she's, quick enough to attack the basket?
Disjointed play there, but a foul going to be called on Holly as she bumped into Hay while trying to steal that ball. Wayzata was kind of scrambling to get a pass, but they end up getting a trip to the free throw line out of it.
And Holly begging with Coach Cosgriff, I'm good. I got 2 fouls. Please leave me in the game. I promise I won't pick up my 3rd.
See if Wayzata can break the drought. Maybe it's the basket at this end. They cannot make a free throw, and Hopkins has been pretty solid.
There you go.
There's Hay knocking one down.
I love the dynamic between player and coach when they pick up, foul trouble. Because as a player, I've been on both sides of it. I've been a coach and a player.
Misses it, but Robertson gets it back and one.
Wow. Well, Jay, I told you, I thought the length of Wayzata was a strength. Watch Annie Robertson just go right over the top. What I loved is she didn't hesitate. She put the power dribble and exploded up, and they got the length to be able to compete against the athleticism of Hopkins.
Robertson's free throw bounces around and in, and they close the gap again down to 4. And knocked out, it'll be Hopkins' possession. Just when you start to think Hopkins is, kind of taking control of the game a little bit, Wayzata's had an answer.
Yep.
Bueckers. Hammond comes up to get it. And Franks got her hand on that one, but Holly recovers.
Yeah, she jumped that screen. A nice play by Franks, almost getting the steal. And that's why I thought Hannah Hyrie might have had a chance to take a charge on Mia Holly there.
Shot was blocked, and then we get a foul call on Franks as she got the hand check in. And here's another look as Hammond grabs this one. And right there, we get the grab on number 15, Franks.
And that's her 2nd, and she's been a spark plug offensively for the Trojans here in the first half.
So Bueckers to the free throw line here for the Royals. And hits.
Well, she's going to be a heck of a player as she gets older, and you can see she's got great height, great shooting touch, just a great feel for the game. As she grows into that a little bit, gets a little bit more experience. I think she's going to be one of the great ones here.
Second free throw also good. 25-19 now for Hopkins. 5 minutes to play in this first half from Roosevelt High School in Minneapolis. Hayden. Now to Franks. Franks stops and fires. No, and Bueckers rebounds. Nice behind the back move to get into the front court. Now baseline, Bates, jump stop, scores.
Yeah, nice jump stop. You saw her split the defender to avoid the charge, and she created a nice open lane for her shot too. Excellent move.
First basket tonight for Bates, although she's been at the line several times. Franks not going to be shy about letting him fly.
Well, and that's a foul from Cameron Hay, her third now. And a nice job setting up her teammate right there by the 8th grader, Paige Bueckers. And Ashley Bates, and she knows how to finish. She scored a lot of points in her career. And Cameron Hay picks that third foul up 50 feet away from the basket. You put Nia Holly, who's a good shooter, a good free throw shooter, gets to the line a lot.
Free throw is good by Holly. She's about a 70% free thrower for Hopkins. And now lead has a chance to go into double figures here, and it will. So 29-19 Royals after Wayzata had closed it to 4. Franks. Now to Tyson and around the horn to Schrader. And dribbled it on the end line, looks like, so it'll be Hopkins' ball.
Yeah, and sometimes, I mean, we've seen her drive baseline and create shots for her teammates. It's a hard ask when you're driving into Nia Holly, who's long and athletic, and, you know, there's just sometimes nowhere to go.
Wayzata coming out in a 3-2 zone here. Bueckers going to shoot the long one. It is good. Went down as well. No foul. The ref says get up, but 32-19, biggest lead of the night.
Yeah, Wayzata's lucky because Abby Carver did get some contact after the shot. That could have very well been a 4-point play opportunity.
Tyson, Wayzata really struggling right now to get each pass made. Here's Schrader. Now Sydney Franks. Robertson cut off by Bates. Here's Franks attacking, wouldn't drop to get an offensive rebound, and an opportunity here, and it's knocked down by Carver.
Well, great offensive rebound by Robertson and a nice touch by Abby Carver, who's had 2 big buckets in the first half.
Suggs knocking down another 3.
I swear, Jay, she's held the ball for maybe 3 seconds, and she's 2 for 2 from the 3-point line with 6 points. She's been instant offense.
14-point Hopkins lead. And a reach in and a tie-up. Suggs just grabbed the ball with both hands.
And you can see there's the 8th grader. Paige Bueckers knocks down a big 3 and contact after the shot. Next possession, they swing it over, and Raina Suggs knocks down her second 3. I'll tell you, it's tough to defend a team that can shoot outside and then can also dominate you on the inside. They are a tough team to figure out how to defend.
Frank steps in and shoots a 3, and she hits. She has not been afraid to shoot the ball, that's for sure.
No, and I think Wayzata needs that. She's kind of the one girl right now that, you know, isn't hesitating. She's going right at him, whether she's making or missing. She's made a couple of them, but they need that.
Schrader back out. Hayden will shoot a 3. That time no good. Holly the rebound, long outlet to Bates. Has Suggs with her, whipped it to her, and she's fouled by Hayden, and that'll be number 3 now on Hayden. In that particular instance, it was going to be a hard shot for Suggs. I don't think that one was really needed. There's a look at Franks.
Yeah, great rhythm right there. No, you're right. Sydney Hayden was in a good spot. That would have been a tough angle for Raina Suggs to make that going that fast. That's where you got to be smart. You got to be heady. Hey, it's a tough shot. If she makes it, good for her. If not, I'm just going to defend it. But you pick up a 3rd foul, now she's going to have to come out of the game. And, you know, that's a loss because Sydney Hayden's kind of that quick, athletic guard that can be really a factor in a game like this.
Suggs was nothing but net on her 2 3-pointers, but misses the first free throw here. Second one is good, so she now has 7 off the bench for the Royals. 36-24 lead for Hopkins here. 2:10 to play in the first half.
Well, that's the other thing, Hopkins, their depth. I mean, don't you feel like, Jada, at any night they could have 7 players and scoring 15 or more points. I mean, they're that talented.
Robertson to Schrader, fakes the shot, steps in a little closer and hits.
Well, just beautiful move. Annie Robertson driving kick. And Mimi Schrader, great pace to that move. A nice shot fake. She didn't try to get all the way in for a layup, recognized the mid-range shot and able to knock it down.
Schrader got a piece of that one, but Suggs tracks it down. Now they have numbers. Bueckers from the corner, short. Nice rebound though, and another opportunity. The shot partially blocked. As in there snaring it was Sierra Bagstad for Hopkins. They'll get the ball back though after the block.
You love the effort. The 3 Wayzata girls missing that. Hopkins had a 5-on-3, and they took a contested 3.
Nice inbound play, and Holly hits.
Yeah, great set play, high-low. Nia Holly just creates space and able to elevate and hit an easy 5-foot shot.
1:20 to play. Hopkins back up by 12. Franks, and she knocks down another one.
Well, her last 2 have been as pure as they can be. Great rotation and release, and a nice easy switch. Big-time buckets.
Suggs had it blocked by Carver, and here come the Trojans. Robertson dumping it inside. Carver off the glass and good.
Well, again, Jay, just when you think Hopkins pulling away with it, Wayzata cuts into that lead and gets some of that momentum back.
Down to a 7-point game, 45 seconds. Bueckers kicking it over to the wing, and looks like they might hold for one here with about a half minute to go. Kind of really fluctuated between it looking like Hopkins was going to blow it open to then Wayzata closing, and that's what we've seen again here. Under 20, and Hopkins content to play it down and take the last shot. Holly looking to the bench, and they're going to use a timeout here to set up a last play with 7.9 remaining in this first half and a 38-31 Hopkins lead. An entertaining game back and forth here. Not always artistic, but definitely well played and hard fought here in this first half. Wayzata now defensively, obviously one concern for them. They got 2 of their starters, Hayden and Hay, with 3 fouls apiece, and then Hiring and Franks each have a couple. Whereas Hopkins, you know, they've got such good depth too. They've got Hart McNeely off the bench at 3 and Holly with 2, but not really much of a concern, I don't think, for them. Not in the same way, at least, that Wayzata has. So the Royals inbound here as they get their last attempt. Holly, step back jumper, hits glass only, and then Bates, though, is fouled by Tyson and will head to the free throw line with 0.9 to go. Big break there for Hopkins as the shot attempt by Holly was way off target, but Bates was ready, and she, to her credit, took it right back up and draws the foul. Misses the first free throw. One more coming. Shouldn't really be time for anything but a tip here for Hopkins if they had a miss. Winston will come back in. And second free throw also no good, and then time will run out. So Wayzata not really cost him in terms of points on the board. They do just get the one more foul late there in the half. So Hopkins will take a lead into halftime, although not quite as big as it looked like it might be for a few moments, as it's 38-31. Let's go over now to Ryan. He's with Coach Schumacher.
Hi, thanks, Jay. Coach, just when it seemed like every time Hopkins was on a run, maybe to put this game away, you guys answered the bell and stayed in this game. How were you able to do that?
We played hard. We didn't play perfectly. We didn't play, catchy to the eye, but we played our tails off, and that's a pretty good game. I'm really pleased with how we competed.
I know one of the things you had talked about was stressing is taking care of the basketball. Hey, if we get into our offense, we can score, and that's exactly what happened tonight. When you guys attacked, very efficient offensively.
Some of the time, when we didn't turn it over, we scored pretty efficiently, and then the other times it didn't look so good. So that's the key, getting shots every possession, and hopefully we continue to shoot it well.
18 minutes left. What do you tell these girls at halftime? How do you guys win this game?
Just how we got it to this point. Just play our tails off and see what happens.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. All right, back to you, Jay.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Coach Schumacher, as well. So a 7-point lead for Hopkins. We'll return here to Roosevelt High School in just a moment on 12 Sports.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
And welcome back here to Roosevelt High School in Minneapolis. Our Section 6 4A girls basketball final. Hopkins leading Wayzata 38-31 as we check out our highlights in the first half of this one. Nia Holly driving it and then kicking over. And three-pointer knocked down by Winston in the early going for the Royals. And here's a nice aggressive attack by Hiring. Able to finish for the Trojans. Yeah, Holly, this one kind of right over in front of us. That was kind of that Kobe fadeaway from the baseline.
You can't do anything about it defensively.
And Suggs was red hot coming in. Just came off the bench and knocked down a quick three.
Yeah, this was a great move right here. Crossover dribble into contested jump shot, big bucket.
Bates pushing it ahead and Winston getting the layup here for the Royals. They didn't get a lot of, complete layups like that, but. And Franks was just no conscience out there. I'm going to take shots whenever they're open, and she hit enough of them at 11 points.
And those two were back-to-back possessions when they needed someone to kind of jumpstart their offense, and she was a big part of that.
Franks with 11 to lead the way for the Trojans. Hiring and Carver 6 each. Holly had 13. Suggs with 7 off the bench, and Bates with 6 for Hopkins. We will come back with more of our coverage here of the Section 6 championship. It's Hopkins leading Wayzata by 7 here on 12 Sports.
Hey, you going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather. Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark. We're just playing. We're just playing. I'm trying to get you out of here.
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Hopkins holding a 7-point lead heading into the second half. Let's go over now to Ryan with Coach Cosgriff.
Hi, thanks, Jay. Coach, up 7 at halftime. What'd you tell the girls in there?
Well, I think we got to do a better job of boxing out. They got a lot of second shots on us, and I think offensively take care of the basketball a little bit more. We feel like they're a very good team. They've came ready to play. We got to be ready to play this half.
I'm going to ask you something, and you're very humble, so I know you're going to deflect this, but I'm watching your team. You guys can shoot from the outside. You can run in transition, inside out. How would you defend your team?
Well, you gotta play hard, and you gotta pick up. I think you gotta get back as quick as possible against us. And at this point, the hay's in the barn, and you do the best you can.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck in the second half. All right, back to you, Jay.
Thanks, Ryan and Coach Cosgriff, and no thanks to the band there as they jumped in late there as asking that last question to Coach Cosgriff. No, appreciate the Hopkins band being on hand here tonight. And very interesting to see the beginning of the second half, I think, is Wayzata has battled back hard to get to within 7. If they come out strong to begin the half, I think they've got an opportunity here to keep it close all the way through. And Hopkins obviously hoping to jump on them right away and see if they can't, get a little margin reestablished.
Yeah, and I think if you were just saying this too, these first couple minutes are really critical. You and I were just talking, off camera. does Wayzata get a bucket or two and kind of get that feeling that, hey, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be hanging around. This is going to be a game to the very end. Or does Hopkins able to go on maybe that 10-0, 12-0 run that they're so accustomed to doing and really kind of put this game out of reach? That's why these first few minutes are very critical.
And I think the fact that Wayzata, I mean, they were in a different section a year ago, but they got to a section final. They played in a pretty small, loud gym in Anoka, too. And I think that experience can only help, to be there, still feeling like they have an opportunity to do something here in the second half, even though they, are down 7 and playing obviously a really good team.
Well, they have 31 points here. One of their meetings against Hopkins, they only scored 36 for the whole game. So offensively, when they've taken care of the basketball, they've been able to score.
Like that.
There you go. And anytime Hopkins extends that defense, the middle of the floor is wide open, and we'll see if Wayzata is able to continue to get it over the top and be able to attack out of the middle of offense.
Across it comes to Holly. Now Winston. Give it right back to Nia Holly, and she drives it in, kicks it over. Winston will line it up for 3, but way off. They get an offensive board, no. Saved in underneath, and that shot won't drop. They're letting him play under there. Ahead to Hiring, and she was tied up by Winston.
Well, that's one of those calls, too. I mean, that could be a foul and 2 free throws. Instead, it's a jump ball, and Wayzata's going to maintain possession. Let's see if we can get it looked like a pretty good defensive play. You worry, too, anytime a player grabs their head like Hannah did there, you worry about any type of contact on the floor or head injury.
Here's Hay playing with those 3 fouls, as is Hart McNeely, and
they called a travel on that? Wow. So. That's not the right call. Watch this. 1, picks up her dribble, takes a big step.
Winston in trouble, and a foul at half court. Looks like it'll be on Hayden, and that would be her 4th.
Yeah.
And it is.
And again, Hayden, she's got to use a little bit better judgment there. So they got the ball handler, picked up her dribble, just pressure it. Don't bail them out with a foul right there.
And a bad pass there, gets away. Frank's up with the steal, so Wayzata has quickly cut it to 5, trying to bring it closer.
Wayzata playing with a little bit more quickness, a little bit more confidence right now offensively. And they're just a poor post feed down low. Bad angle, easy interception there for Hopkins.
Hart McNeely jumping in to take it away. Bates driving and finishing. Boy, she made him pay for gambling a little bit.
And if you're going to gamble against Hopkins, you got to make sure you get home. Otherwise, they're too good offensively, and they'll convert it into an easy bucket like that.
Schrader picking up her dribble. Now Hiring is open from the wing and hits.
I love how she's coming off, and she is looking to score. Sometimes in Hannah's game, she'll hesitate a little bit to shoot too much. That time she goes right up with it. She's been great on offense.
Holly left it short as she went into the defender and maybe trying to draw a foul, but didn't get it. So Wayzata within 5 and a chance to cut it again, and near steal there.
Watch Hannah catch, turn, realizes she's got a little bit of separation and just knocks it down. She's been lights out tonight.
Bueckers coming back in the lineup here for Hopkins. Schrader will inbound for the Trojans. Hiring getting a breather. Gives it to Franks and then over to Tyson and in and out and then over the back, and that's going to be on Hay. And that will be her 4th. So not what Wayzata was looking for as they quickly get Hayden and Hay with 4 fouls.
Well, they need their depth to come in right now, and they need to maintain this momentum, keep this within a 2 to 3 possession game.
Holly is going to step back and take that three and hit.
Well, and you got to back off of her because she's so good at slashing to the basket. And if she consistently can add that three-point shot kind of out of a step back too, I mean, you can see why every college in the country wanted her to attend their program.
Tyson giving it inside. Robertson was held by Bueckers. That'll be her second.
And I like Wayzata, you know, you can see Hopkins is trying to gamble on all those post-entry passes, and they've gotten quite a few of them, but if you can punish them either with fouls or Annie Robertson, that's a turn and look, getting easy baskets.
Schrader to inbound, and now Tyson with the catch. Picks up the dribble, but Robertson gets back to help her out. Inside, Tyson
what a catch.
Catches and scores. A tough one.
Yeah, she's 6'1", to go low like that and maintain that and then have the wherewithal to finish. Big time bucket.
Holly down the lane, scores plus a foul. She got ahead of steam from the top of the key, and that one is going to be trouble if you're Wayzata.
Yeah, and I want you to watch. You see Hannah Hirene, if she takes one more step in and holds her ground, she could take a charge on that play. And you can't gamble. Nia Holly too good, too strong by the basket.
And it bounces around and drops. So 19 now for Holly. The lead is back to 9. Robertson shooting it up, no good. And Franks will get it back. Hiring it back across to Schrader. And they got caught in a switch. Schrader to the hoop, almost got it to drop. Now Bates out of there with it. Ashley Bates, and bumped into Hiring, no call, and Winston will shoot and hit a three.
You talk about luck. That goes from maybe being a charge or a turnover. Instead, Bates able to maintain that, knocks it over, and big time three, and just like that, it goes from 5 to 12 points.
Timeout, Mike Schumacher. As you get a look at Winston, had her feet set and dead on. The net hardly moved.
Yep. Yeah, she's knocked down a couple of perimeter shots tonight. You think about, most teams, you look on the boys or the girls side, most teams do one, maybe two things really well, right? They got great big guys and they dominate you down low, or they have really great guard play, but they don't have much else. Hopkins is one of those teams that really checks all the boxes, don't they? You can see they'll make you pay if any one of them can shoot the three. They obviously crash the offensive rebounding with their size and athleticism. And then maybe the biggest neutralizer of them all is you got Nia Holly, who can work inside and out. And you really almost just have to pick your poison. And, if Hopkins is making those perimeter shots, there's a reason they've won 4 of the last 5 state championships.
So Wayzata had clawed back to being right on Hopkins' heels, and now you look up and all of a sudden it's a 12-point game, and that's what we've had about 3 of those now where it's gone up and then it's come back down, and Wayzata has to hope that they have another answer here and not just get close, but get all the way back. It's going to be a tall order, but they're playing pretty well too. Holly the steal then is tied up, and the held ball will go Hopkins' way.
I think Hopkins' best defense is their man-to-man defense, but they do that extended 2-3, and especially against a team like Wayzata, they want to speed them up and try to make them make bad decisions. That time it pays off.
There's a turnover by the Royals as that pass floated over Bates. It hit her fingertips, but not a great angle to complete that pass. Franks whipping it for Robertson, instead throws it away.
Well, you can see on our screen, Jay Wilcox, multifaceted during the broadcast, able to help with the ball too.
I didn't think
you got to catch that.
The game wouldn't be able to keep going if we didn't pitch in and help out. So Holly to Bueckers, fadeaway baseline. That's a tough shot.
It is, and as an 8th grader, do you see how she caught that? But didn't, it could have propelled her to the basket. Said she caught it, hit a fadeaway jump shot. That's a big time offensive play for an 8th grader.
Holly shooting it up, no good. Bates strong on the glass and finishes. Wow, that's a strong rebound and putback.
And the interesting thing is Hannah Hiring had the position and actually boxed out too. That was just Bates being very athletic. And she's not overly tall, but she's a very, very deceptively athletic player.
And there she is with the steal. Bates all the way, blocked by Hiring, but then Bueckers puts it back.
Oh, this is that run that you and I were talking about, Jay. You know, just a few minutes ago, it was a 5-point game, and you know, you turn the page for a second, and here we are at an 18-point game.
Tyson into traffic. No bucket, a foul on Hopkins, but on the floor before the shot.
And that's why if you're Wayzata, you're thinking, come on, give us the give us the continuation.
Holly will pick up her third. Hayden will inbound here for the Trojans. Hiring, quick trigger, but wouldn't drop. Winston pushing it. Here's Nia Holly. Gonna step back and shoot it, no good. And out to Hayden. She has Hay ahead of her, but chose not to go that way now. Franks will attack and score.
She is just fearless. And she went right at Nia Holly and avoided the charge there, able to finish. She's had a phenomenal game.
Beckers driving it. Tried to dish a kick, though, by Hiring. It'll be Hopkins' ball.
Watch her step right through. You know, Nia Holly not wanting to pick up, you know, another foul and maybe have to get out of the game.
Doesn't it almost feel like Franks, it's like she doesn't even really notice the defense. She's just eyeing the basket.
Yep.
And like you said in the first half, even if every shot she took wasn't one you'd say was a great one, they needed that aggressiveness.
Yep.
Here's Holly driving and finishes with the left-hand layup.
And what you can't do is allow her to get those kind of baskets, those easy baskets.
And Hart McNeely up with the steal. And this one will be a tie up the other way, kind of similar to the one we saw a little bit earlier, but against Hiring.
Yep, good defense by Hannah, hustling back and getting her hands on the ball.
Bagstead will come back in here for Hopkins, and for Wayzata, Carver checks back in. So Schrader into the front court. Wayzata staring at an 18-point deficit after, as Ryan said, they'd cut it to within 5. Schrader whips it down low. Robertson, though, was too far under, and then a steal by Bagstead.
You know, I think Wayzata would like to see Annie Robertson be a little bit more selfish. There's a beautiful move by Bates. She kind of did what Sydney Franks did, just avoids contact, able to slither her way in for a layup, and the lead is 20.
Timeout Wayzata as you look at Bates with that nice jump stop, powers through it.
Yeah, that's a great move. But you know what I mean? You've seen Wayzata girls play a number of times over the last couple years, right? I mean, Annie Robertson to me is an excellent basketball player, averaging 8 points. Almost seems like she could score double that, doesn't it? I mean, her length, her talent level, she's such an unselfish player that, like that last play, I would like to see her use her height and try to score that rather than make the extra play, the extra pass. But you certainly can't fault her for being a great teammate and for trying to get other people open shots.
Hiring will inbound for the Trojans as they find themselves down by 20 points. Hiring lets it fly, no good. Hart McNeely rebounded. I thought she might have traveled coming out of there, and then Robertson had a steal but lost it.
Great hustle by Robertson just to get her hands on that ball.
This is what happens a lot of times against Hopkins. If you're Wayzata, I think probably about 75% of the time you'd say have played fairly well, but they've just had a little stretch or two where the Royals just take it to them. Long jumper, one drop. Hart McNeely had the rebound, then Carver ripped it away. Here's Franks all the way, and she's fouled by Knox.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you look at the Lake Conference, you know, Minnetonka being a very good team too, but that, you know, we cover a lot of North Suburban teams, there's not many teams that Wayzata played this well. They wouldn't be able to beat, you know, but you go up against Hopkins, you have to almost play a perfect game and hope that they're off in their game or they're not making their shots.
And they're going to say 4 fouls, not something to worry about now. They've got Hayden and Hay both back in there with 4, and at this margin and this time, why not?
No, I like that call. And you know, if you're Wayzata, hey, we got one more run in us. Can we make a run? Maybe get this down to 6 or 8. You know, with a couple minutes left to go, and anything can happen.
Franks gets 1 out of 2, and now Wayzata coming with pressure. Timeout, Brian Cosgriff. Here's how things shaped up in the Section 6 tournament. Really no upsets at all based on the seeding. And Hopkins, no trouble with Cooper in the semis. Wayzata did have some trouble with Armstrong. Won by 9, but Coach Schumacher said offensively we were okay. Defensively we were not very good. But they got it done and got enough to get here. Armstrong's kind of going to be an intriguing team, I think, the next couple of years. They've got some young talent on that team.
No, absolutely. You know, and you look at Wayzata. I mean, Mimi Schrader, their point guard, she's a 9th grader. Sydney Franks is a junior. You know, Cameron Hay is a junior. Callie Tyson's got great height. She's only a 9th grader. You lose Hannah Hyrene and Annie Robertson, but you got a lot of returning players coming back. So I mean, I expect Wayzata to build off of this as well. On the flip side, with Hopkins, you're saying, oh my goodness, we're going to lose Ashley Bates and Nia Holly. Well, you also got Paige Bueckers, who's only an 8th grader. Raina Suggs is a 10th grader. Angie Hammond, a 10th grader. So they just reload every year.
Holly inbounding in the backcourt. Bagstead throwing over the top. Woban driving it, and no bucket here. Foul before the shot called against Franks. Winston the inbound here for Hopkins, lobbing it for Holly. She'll attack and she'll score.
That's a great play, a great design. You know, you throw it up, Nia Holly can probably out-jump almost every player in the state of Minnesota, and then she just explodes to the rim.
Tyson picked up her dribble. Now Robertson giving it up to Hay inside for 2.
Oh, there's that Annie Robertson, her playmaking ability, and a nice job by Cameron Hay, keeping that ball up high and finishing.
Woban looking to shoot it up. No good. Hay the board. Franks. And Winston almost had the steal, but couldn't control it. Goes out of bounds. So Hiring will inbound here for Wayzata, down 19. Tyson back out to Robertson. Dishing baseline, nice move by Hay and finishes.
Nice pass again. You see how Cameron Hay caught that and just ripped right through? Didn't allow the defender, to get back in front of her. Beautiful move.
Becker's left it short on the floater, but gets it back herself. Quick rotation here around to Holly. Winston thinks about it and takes it and hits a 3.
Well, she's got a great outside jump shot.
Back to a 20-point lead. Robertson looking inside, nothing there. Now spins away from Beckers, and we get a foul call against the Royals.
Yeah, it's kind of an afterthought. They're shooting that perimeter jump shot, the 3-pointer by Dee Dee Winston.
It's almost like she's looking at the defender. Do you dare me?
Have you not been watching? I've made about 4 of these here tonight.
Franks shooting it up in the corner and hits another one.
You know, whatever happens, what a momentum builder for Sydney Franks going into the offseason. Hey, I had a monster game against maybe the best team in the state, and got to build a lot of confidence going into next year.
Holly driving it down the middle, and the floater is good. She's unstoppable.
You know, my thought coming into this game is you try to make Nia Holly beat you from the perimeter, right? You try to make her hit jump shots. And then right off the bat, she hit a couple of really tough contested fadeaway jump shots. How about that again? Wow.
Sydney Franks, another big three. Bueckers going right back to Holly. Spinning, blocked by Robertson this time. Now Bueckers gets it back. Dishing to Bates in traffic, scores, and a foul.
Those are the possessions that just deflate you, Jay. You play great defense initially, and you think you have a stop, and all of a sudden the ball gets tipped. Paige Bueckers, she's phenomenal as an 8th grader.
You know, it might sound funny to say, but overall, her offensive game already might be as good as anybody on this Hopkins team as an 8th grader.
And you add in a little bit more size and strength and confidence, maturity. I mean, you can see she's going to be, if she's not already, one of the best players in the state of Minnesota. She's got excellent height. And more than anything, just the way she plays, her rhythm, her flow, knowing when to score, when to pass. She's been very, very good.
Hayden shooting the three, and she knocks it down.
If your name is Sydney and you play for Wayzata, you're going to knock some threes down tonight. It's contagious.
68-53. Wayzata, in a lot of ways, offensively, as the travel has done enough to, maybe win a section title, but
not an easy shot again. I mean, contested. You know, and you see this a lot of times too in big games. Once a team gets down a little bit, there's a nice transition, attacking that zone. Andy Robertson getting to the free throw line, but it almost like a little of that pressure kind of falls off, and you just start playing like, hey, we got nothing to lose, and that's when you start making plays, and then you kind of feel like that's what's happened here in the last few minutes with Wayzata.
That was the 4th foul on Bueckers, so Robertson will head to the free throw line here for Wayzata. He's 1 out of 3 at the line tonight, now 2 out of 4. You know, they've chipped back away. I'm not saying it's a close game, but it's, they're still hanging there. They can't really overlook them yet if you're Hopkins. Second one no good, but Robertson runs it down herself. Gets it to Hiring, no basket. A foul on Hopkins, but before the shot.
Wow.
Knox will
that
pick
one,
it up.
That's the second one this half that they haven't counted as a continuation. Yeah, it's going to be is that 1-on-1? Is that not bonus yet? No, that's going to be the 6th team foul. And you see Coach Schumacher begging to say that's got to be in the act of shooting.
Instead, it'll be Robertson.
Yeah, here's the replay. I love watch this. That's got to be a 3-point play.
Hiring, driving, fouled by Bates.
Well, Hannah said, I'm getting to the free throw line one way or the other. But how about Andy Robertson rebounding her own miss, too?
It was almost like she was disappointed in herself that she missed it, that she just
sprinted.
Flew right to it. Hiring's free throw is good.
You know, and on the flip side, it's not always easy. If you're Hopkins and you start pulling away and you think, okay, we got this thing wrapped up, and all this, it's easy to just let your guard down a little bit. And, they're a great team. They usually respond to these kind of rallies with their own rally to match it. But right now, hats off to Wayzata for playing hard and staying in this thing.
Holly to Bates. Just like that, it's in the bucket. Back to a 14-point lead for Hopkins. 7 minutes to play. Schrader from the baseline and air ball. Bates out of there to lead the break. Bates, we're going to get an offensive foul.
Well, and she does such a nice job normally avoiding that kind of contact.
Hay will come back into the lineup here for Wayzata.
And you can see there's a reason why teams don't pressure Hopkins very often, because they got such athleticism and height. They're able to throw it right over the top.
Franks had this one blocked. And then we get a tie-up. It'll go Hopkins' way. Winston giving it back to Holly. I don't think she was expecting it, but made a one-hand grab there. Ooh. They'll keep on firing, and it bounces around in the end for Knox.
Well, we've seen a number of shots tonight bounce on the rim, take all kinds of bounces, and find its way in.
Schrader doubled up, and a tie-up will go Wayzata's way. Yeah, it feels like they're kind of friendly rims here. Though, you know, some rims that just that won't happen, but. Hayden checks back in here for Wayzata. And kind of a crazy game. They're just back and forth where you're thinking Hopkins has them put away, and the lead is still big, but Wayzata is not quitting as Robertson hits.
And I love seeing her start to be a little bit more aggressive. You know, her playmaking and her scoring are such benefits for Wayzata when she's playing aggressively like that. Right now, it's not so much about offense for Wayzata. It's about getting stops, getting turnovers to try to make up this 15-point deficit.
Yeah, that's been the biggest hindrance to them being able to make a comeback is that offensively they've done enough, but then they keep, you know, you can't trade baskets when you're down 15.
No, and offensively, Wayzata's got to be pretty proud. They scored 36 and 60 against Hopkins in their 2 previous meetings this year. They're already at 58. The problem is they gave up 74 in both of those games. You know, Hopkins already with 73 points.
Bueckers driving, apparently clean there, didn't look like it. Now Bates with the steal. Bates losing the handle a little bit, but she finishes anyway.
I don't know if that was tipped or if she purposely did that, but that was a great move, able to create some great space. She's great in transition. She's very slithery.
Here's Robertson, off the back of the rim on a nice drive. Knox attacking and is fouled. And that should be number 5 on Hayden.
Well, watch this move.
Off the defender's hip a little bit. And she wisely let go of it there. So
it wasn't a travel or a double dribble, but a nice standing ovation for the senior, Sydney Hayden. You know who I think had a frustrating night just from a foul perspective. Picked up a couple of quick early fouls, never really gotten a flow in the game. Knocked down a big three-pointer, but a great career for her.
Knox misses the free throw. One more coming. And hits the second. 76-58 now. Hopkins trying to put Wayzata away. 5:10 to go. And it got away from Robertson on the handoff. Here comes Knox. Dishing it over to Holly, and she is fouled. Robertson will pick up the foul. And free throw not good for Nia Holly.
I always think the mark of a really good player too, Jay, is when you look at the box score. You know, when you look at Nia Holly, she's got 25 points and it's still 25. But it doesn't seem like it's an overwhelming 25. It's all come within the flow, and you know, some players will get really hot and you think, wow, they must have had 40, and you look, they had 18.
Franks driving it and was fouled as they tried to tie her up there. There's
something about her demeanor, Sydney Franks, I really like. Kind of just I don't care who you are, how good you are. If you're beating us, I play at 1 speed, and it's full speed, and I'm going right to the rim. You know, she goes down hard, bangs her head too. Watch her get right back up.
Looks like they got the foul on Bates, although it appeared, I mean, Bates was there, but it seemed like the other player might have been more guilty. But anyway, Franks will shoot. No good, and Holly rebounds.
That's not shooting too.
Here's Holly on the drive, wouldn't drop. And then we get a foul committed by Tyson of Wayzata. So Paige Bueckers to the free throw line here for Hopkins. Has 9 points tonight. And knocks down the free throw.
He's got a nice looking stroke too. What an experience for her as an 8th grader. You know, think of the difference of playing in an 8th grade travel tournament as opposed to playing at high level varsity basketball, getting to the, you know, probably likely to get to the state tournament.
And a steal there for the Royals. Here comes Holly. A little hesitation move and layup.
You see how she stutter stepped there and then just exploded right. And, you know, she gets going to her right. She's a great finisher.
Schrader misses, gets it back herself. Robertson for 3. Not good. Robertson a dive for that one. Now Bueckers throwing it long. Holly flips it over to Knox.
Wow.
Layup good.
Well, 2 great passes on that one. The look ahead by Bueckers and then Nia Holly. Athleticism to get it and then to know right where her teammate was for the layup. It's a big time play.
That kind of felt like the thank you and good night hoop there for them, I think. Underneath and a tip. McNeely up with it. Gets the steal. Knox. And is fouled before she could either pass or shoot that one. Another look at this one. Bueckers a great throw, but watch Holly.
You know how hard that is? Come to your left to turn around like that and time it and catch and jump in the air at the same time. I mean, that's a great, great play.
Franks picking up her 4th. Knox to the free throw line. Hay will come back in here for Wayzata. Depending on how many free throws are shot late, Hopkins might be looking at a 100-point game here. Second one also good. Schrader to Hiring, and she'll shoot up a 3 way short with that one. Bueckers stops and pops a 3 and hits.
You know, I've said it before, but the pace that she plays at is for an 8th grader is really remarkable. Her court sense and, you know, she pushes it. There's nothing there. She's able to back off a little bit. Defense doesn't pick her up, and in rhythm. I mean, watch this. She's pushing it hard, slows down, and says, hey, no one's going to pick me up. A nice in rhythm jump shot. I mean, that's just a beautiful, beautiful rhythm play for anyone on varsity, much less an 8th grader.
Here is Franks driving, and we have an offensive foul call there. Yes, charge call against Franks. Be her 5th. I think it might not be, I think that might be the right call. The official farthest away called it. I think she was kind of caught off guard that neither of the other two did.
And it was a good 2 seconds after the play occurred too.
It was, but I think it may have been the right call. And when there's that much contact, it pretty much has to be a foul on one or the other to me. And that's what they ended up with.
Well, Sydney Franks can certainly hang her head high for the way she played here tonight. Came out a great effort, great aggression. Really the one player offensively that attacked Hopkins. Hannah Hireen, I thought, had a good game offensively. Annie Robertson's done some nice things, but really Sydney Franks just the one person that came out and guns a-blazing.
20 points off the bench. She's, I was going to say she's Vinnie Johnson-like, but I think he wishes he had that many points in that many minutes. Back out to Bueckers. And then I'm realizing to myself that none of these players were born when Vinnie Johnson was playing, but
hopefully our listeners are able to remember Vinnie Johnson.
Oops, 2 Hopkins players went for that pass, and then Knox is quickly tied up. Checking in, by the way, for Wayzata after Franks fouled out there is Emily Layton, number 25. So 87-58. And there's a steal by Robertson. Robertson with Knox chasing her, and Knox fouls her, and down she goes. So free throws upcoming here.
You know, I love both teams still playing hard. Addie Robertson doubling the ball. And on the flip side, too, you know, Knox not letting her get a free layup, even though you're already winning. I love the effort. I love Annie Robertson and the intensity and the effort level that she always plays at.
And her free throw is good. It's going to be one of those games, Ryan, where you look at the margin and you think, well, this was never close. It didn't really feel like that, though.
You got to remember, Jay, at one point here, you know, not too far into the second half, it was a 5-point game. And Wayzata had the momentum, had hit a couple of threes, and it was just like that switch, that run that we talked about. Hopkins is able to do that. Maybe no other team, even the great teams, aren't able to do that, where they put up 20 points in a matter of 3-4 minutes.
Obviously, as this game being played early in the week, we don't know all the other teams that are, you know, are going to qualify in 4A, but Hopkins, you'd have to feel has a, you know, as good a shot or better shot than anybody once they get to the tournament.
No, I think you look at Hopkins, you look at Eastview is a very good basketball team. You know, and I think you give our Northwest Suburban, you know, guys a shot. You know, Park Center, with their state pedigree, you know, their confidence, they got size, they got guard play. You know, and then of course St. Michael Albertville, who beat Hopkins, not only beat Hopkins, but blew them out earlier in the year, has a couple of Division I player recruits on their team as well. So, but you're right. Here's the question you always ask yourself when you see our two seniors for Wayzata, Hannah Hyrene and Annie Robertson, checking out of the game to a standing ovation.
Hyrene leads with 12 points and Robertson with 8 in their last game of two very strong careers for the Trojans.
Yep.
Megan Witchker, number 23, is in now for Wayzata. Also 22, Patricia Gibson. Royals will get it back, and they're going to use a timeout just to put a sub in. Catherine Redica is in, number 42. Also 15 is Julia Jallo for Hopkins. Addie Chalmers, 44. And here's a baseline drive, reverse try there by Olivia Polinsky. Not able to finish it though, and here come the Trojans. Oh, a nice drive, but unable to finish. Gibson's putback try won't go. Hopkins running that sideline break, even with their second or even kind of third unit in there. High arcing three is short. Rebounded for the Trojans by Ellie Olmanson, who's in there, number 20. Olmanson dumping it inside into traffic. Gibson fights for it, gets it, and scores. Hopkins looking to answer. A bank from the corner, almost good. Gibson rebound.
Gibson might end up with a double-double here in the last minute. She's got a number of rebounds already, a couple of one basket.
Baseline drive wouldn't quite fall there for Witchker. Under 5 to go, and Hopkins will be returning to the state tournament. Final, and this one is 88-62. As they were able to fight off a couple of Wayzata surges, Ryan, and I don't want to say made it look easy, but I mean, they were playing a pretty decent team, and they end up blowing them out.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Hopkins is they go on these runs, and their runs are usually a little bit bigger and a little bit longer than your runs, and that was the case. Wayzata I thought Wayzata played their hearts out. They played hard. I thought they played pretty well. You just saw the skill level, the athleticism, and really the depth and balance of this Hopkins team, and again, I mean, that's why they're maybe the prohibitive favorite to win another state championship this year.
Franks with 20 off the bench to lead the Trojans. 27 for Nia Hawley, 18 for Bates, 14 for Bueckers, and 11 for Winston for the Royals. So it's Hopkins advancing to the state tournament. We'll be back to wrap things up here from Roosevelt High School in just a moment on 12 Sports.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back here to Roosevelt. Hopkins will get a chance to defend their state championship as the Royals win at 88-62 over Wayzata tonight. We're joined by a couple of players that have had great careers, great seasons, and great games tonight. Ashley Bates, how much fun was this to come out? I know you played Wayzata twice already, but how did you guys feel about coming into the section championship?
It felt great. We played as a team. Everybody did their part, and we did what we had to do.
There were a couple times earlier in the game where you started to pull away and then they made a little bit of a run. But did you guys, still feel confident and never let that bother you?
We've definitely been in that situation before, so we just got to calm down and we know what to do. Run our plays right, do everything.
You guys obviously have been in the state tournament a lot of times before, but as a senior, does it feel a little bit different knowing that this is your last go-around?
Definitely. It's my last time state championship with my sisters, and I just want it that much more.
All right, good luck in the tournament. Have fun.
Thank you.
And Nia Hawley, another big game, 27 points for you. How special is this night for especially the seniors on this team?
It's really great. It's a really good feeling to go out, the way we want to. We're headed to the state tournament again, and that's as far as we could, possibly wish that we could get. We're going to keep pushing and keep working hard in practice, get to the last day.
Wayzata gave you guys a battle for a while, but what enabled you to pull away? What was really the difference there?
Sticking to our fundamentals. We practiced a lot of their plays in practice over the weekend. We worked really hard, and we had to stay in a stance the entire time, and Kaz really pushes for defense, so we gave it all tonight.
Heading into the state tournament, you guys are kind of the first qualifier, having this game be on a Tuesday, so we don't really know the rest of the field, but what do you think of your chances? Are you feeling pretty good about the way things might go?
I trust in my teammates and I trust in my coaches, and we take it from there. We take it step by step, day by day. All we're trying to do is play to the last.
Nia, great job here tonight and have fun in the tournament.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, Nia Hawley helping Hopkins to another section championship as they take it here tonight over Wayzata in the Section 6 4A final. Royals more than likely going to be the #1 seed for the State 4A tournament. Hope you've enjoyed this one here tonight. For Ryan Iverson and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Roosevelt High School.